Trying something new today. A quick hook before we dive in. Startup just raised $1 billion to put 25,000 driverless vehicles on Uber. And in San Diego, a scientist is growing bluefin tuna in a lab. Welcome back to the Easy VC Brief. I'm Max, Managing Director of Ajinomoto Group Ventures. And in the next 5 minutes, we're going to cover 3 stories that show exactly where deep tech money is flowing right now. No jargon, no fluff. Story 1, Waabi, autonomous trucks, not just robo-taxis. This week, Toronto-based Waabi closed $1 billion in new funding, a $750 million Series C led by Khosla, plus a $250 million milestone-based commitment from Uber. That Uber money comes with a condition. Waabi will deploy at least 25,000 autonomous vehicles exclusively on Uber's platform. The largest venture raise in Canadian history, and it sends a clear signal that autonomous trucking, not just robo-taxis, is where self-driving scales first. Why does it matter? Almost 70% of all US freight moves by truck, a roughly $900 billion industry. Truck driving is the most common job in nearly 30 states. So when Waabi talks about replacing long-haul drivers on highways, this isn't niche automation. Here's the interesting part. Waabi missed its original promise to launch fully driverless trucks in 2025. Why? Because they decided not to deploy modified vehicles. Instead, they're waiting for Volvo to manufacture trucks purpose-built for autonomy directly from the factory floor. They just raised $1 billion to wait for Volvo. That's either extreme safety discipline or the most expensive coming soon in venture history. Vinod Khosla calls Waabi capital efficient, claiming they can achieve what past players did with billions and massive teams, but at a fraction of the cost. Whether that holds up at scale is still an open question, but right now the market is clearly buying the story. Story 2, Blue Nalu, lab-grown bluefin tuna. San Diego-based Blue Nalu just raised $11 million in a convertible note and preferred stock sale led by agronomics, city capital, and existing investors. The timing matters. Cultivated meat and seafood funding has collapsed, down to $36 million in the first 9 months of 2025. Several major players have shut down entirely. Blue Nalu is one of the few still standing. But here's why this one's smart. They're not trying to make cheap supermarket tuna. They're going straight for bluefin tuna toro, the fattiest, most expensive cut used in high-end sushi. It's scarce, inconsistent, increasingly overfished, and incredibly valuable. Blue Nalu's pitch is simple. Consistent quality, year-round supply, zero mercury. That's something the ocean can't guarantee. To put this in perspective, 3 weeks ago at Tokyo's Toyosu Fish Market, a single 535-pound of bluefin tuna sold for $3.2 million. Blue Nalu's entire funding round is worth less than 4 of those fish. They already have partnerships with Mitsubishi, Sumitomo, Thai Union, and Japan's largest sushi chain, and they're in regulatory conversations across Asia, Europe, and the UK. Watch this one. Story 3, Neurofus, from invisibility cloaks to AI chips. Austin-based Neurofus just raised $110 million in a Series A led by Gates Frontier, Bill Gates' personal venture fund, with participation from Microsoft's M12, Aramco Ventures, and Bosch. They're building photonic AI chips, processors that use light instead of electricity to do the math behind AI. The claim 100x better performance per watt than today's GPUs. Why does this matter? AI has a power problem. Data centers are consuming massive amounts of electricity, and NVIDIA's GPUs, as good as they are pushing up against the physical limits of silicon. More speed means more heat means more power. It's a constant treadmill. Neurofus is trying to step off it entirely. Their core breakthrough is a micron-scale metamaterial modulator, small enough to fit over 1 million optical processing elements on a single chip. In early tests, they've demonstrated performance orders of magnitude beyond today's hardware. And here's the wild origin story. Neurofus spun out of Duke University from research led by Professor David Smith, the same scientist who built the world's first invisibility cloak 2 decades ago. Yes, a real one. DARPA funded. That exact metamaterial research is now being used to build AI chips. First production chips are targeted for mid-2028, so this is early, but with Gates, Microsoft, and Aramco at the table, photonics is quickly becoming a serious bet. So that's your week in deep tech. Waabi raised $1 billion to put robots on highways. Blue Nalu is growing sushi in a lab while single fish sell for millions of dollars, and Neurofist is turning an invisibility cloak into the future of AI computing. 3 very different bets, one common thread. The investors winning right now are betting on physics, not just only software. That's episode 9 of the Easy VC Brief. If this was useful, share it with someone who geeks out on deep tech. And if there's a story I should cover, message me on LinkedIn. I'm Max. See you next week. Keep building.